Okay, I think we'll get started with our second session of Trends and Insights. So thank you for those that have stayed with us. You just need to recheck in for this session. It's Trends 2, capital letters, or there is a QR code flying around. I'm delighted to welcome our next speaker, Yogeesh Chandra, Chief Strategy Officer from RateGain and a HSMAI Gold sponsor for 7 years in a row. Thank you. And he'll be taking us through the Global State of Distribution report. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I believe this is the second session after lunch. How are you all doing? Great. Okay, hi, my name is Yogeesh. I am here to present, I believe there's a scanner there as well. Before I present the insights, let me talk about a question that may be in your mind as well. Why do we need another state of report? RateGain is one of the largest distributors of accommodation-related information to different points of sale globally. We power about 200,000 hotels. But what we noticed was post-COVID, I think I'm allowed to say that, it's just been 4 years. But post-COVID, we noticed a lot of things happened in the industry. You know, a lot of talent was lost, a lot of new technologies emerged, functions were collapsed, reorganizations were done. A lot of different roles came together. You know, what used to be revenue management and sales and marketing became a chief commercial officer's role. And new technologies emerged. People, the way they were traveling, all of that changed. And all of that started impacting the industry in different ways. And we could see some trends changing. So we thought, why not conduct a survey? You know, we've got a global footprint as a company. Apart from Antarctica, I think we power hotels everywhere else. So we thought we would ask hotels globally on what's changing for them. And if I were sitting in the audience, there are a couple of things that I would take away from this. One is, so what we have done is before I go into that, let me just give my credit to all the all the supporters and facilitators of this study. So we had NYU, the School of Hospitality, and then HEDNA obviously as a big influencer and member, that could help us conduct this survey. In terms of who really helped us from a hotelier's perspective, we have about 11,000 insights, 11,000 different hoteliers who participated. And what we did was we did a regional breakup of that, we did a hotel size breakup of that, and we had a function breakup of that. The way I would use some of the insights that we would present today is for you to first of all see, if we aggregate or give you a bird's eye view of what's keeping professionals up at night, what are their top initiatives, what are the top priorities, then how can you look at the aggregated view of all of that from a regional lens, and also from the lens of what kind of a hotel there is. Is it an international chain with a big global footprint, or is it a regional chain, or is it an independent hotel? And what I would also look at is what are things that I am doing as a professional working for a hotel, and how does that benchmark against what you see in the report? And this is very important. Just as a spoiler alert, a lot of people are going to talk about rate parity that you will see. But if rate parity is something that has been sorted for you, then that's like a pat on your back. You've done a better job than what others are continuing to focus more on. So if I am to be in the audience, I would look at what are things that are happening in the world, and am I doing better than them or not? And also what are things that world is thinking about in terms of where to spend more money, where to spend more focus. So we'll get into more of that. And so we've got an exhaustive set of questions. The study is actually available on our website. But for our session today, we thought of handling these 5 questions. So what challenges are hotels facing? How are hotels planning their technology budget? What are hotels investing in the next 12 months? How do hotels make technology decisions? And where do hotels want to reduce efforts? And I'll start presenting the insights in a moment, but I'll also give you a disclaimer here that our questions are collectively exhaustive, but our answers are mutually exclusive. So sometimes when you see the numbers, you'll see like it's 45% here and then 65% here, and then you can go, oh, it's collectively not 100%. But that's not how people have taken the survey. People have taken each question on their own merit. Through all these questions, we have tried to kind of address as many issues as possible. So let's dive right into the sessions. What challenges are hotels facing? So we have divided it into three categories. One is the large hotel chains. And here you see monitoring rate parity, and then updating new rate packages across properties, identifying new channels for demand. There's a lot of text, you can consume that. But I have some commentary here. Monitoring rate parity is a very ongoing sort of issue, pressing issue for the last 10, 12, 15 years. But it's still showing here the way to look at it would be that you would have seen a lot of large hotel chains saying, I've consolidated my wholesaler distribution through one or two large providers. And one of the reasons they were looking at consolidating their wholesaler distribution was because those had come with the commitment that there would be better rate parity, there would be better rate control. But when you now look at it from the lens of, is that really happening? Well, hotels are spending considerable amount of energy even now in having to monitor their rate parity. So some of the steps that we're taking in consolidations have actually not worked. Updating new rate packages across all properties. Now this is very interesting. Imagine you have a 50 hotel portfolio, right? And you decide to launch a new package, a Christmas package. Unfortunately, your effective distribution of that Christmas package is dependent on the slowest revenue manager in your team, right? Because if they decide to not set it up on time, then while others have set it up, and there is a lot of in-house follow-up where policies get distributed, the validity of the rates get distributed, everything gets advised from the corporate office, but still somebody has to go out and set those up, and those don't happen on time. As a result of that, only barely a week or two before Christmas do you actually set up your Christmas package, which is sellable. And that becomes a problem. So, if there is some automation that you can think of in that area, or if your distribution provider can provide some automation there, I think that will be very helpful. Third is identifying new channels. Obviously, there are a lot of developments that happened also post-COVID, geopolitical tensions, rising and diminishing discretionary spending capability, and new economies started emerging. And all of that, and new visa restrictions, new travel restrictions, new visa openness about new policies. As a result of that, new demand channels opened, new vertical demand channels opened. So what used to be just an OTA now has become a very specific, this is a halal OTA, or this is an OTA that just accepts bookings based on whether you have pets or not, or if you have elderly travelers involved or not. So there is a verticalization of points of sale. And it is important for us to be present. If we identify that as an ideal customer profile, then it is important for us to be present on those channels. So, that is another trend that we noticed. But I would also look at it from the perspective that, is your distribution channel able to help you not only identify a new demand channel, but how quickly can you connect and get on with it? Because currently it's a big manual exercise, and a lot of this slows people down. When we talk to distribution heads across the globe, we hear a lot about them trying to partner with new channels, where they are headquartered and where their portfolio is, whatever local channels are becoming really prominent there. They want to participate in the demand that is coming through that. But unfortunately, it breaks down because of the whole manual process involved around setting up content and everything. In terms of mid-size hotels, monitoring rate parity, so no surprise there. Optimizing paid campaigns. Now, this is another interesting thing that we noticed while we asked the professionals to identify themselves between distribution, marketing, and sales and revenue management. We noticed a lot of marketing speak now coming out of distribution managers and revenue managers. And then identifying new channels stays as is. Identifying new channels for demand for independent became the top priority. Managing rate types across different channels. We heard that because of, sorry, we did not hear it like that, but the way we interpreted it is that the large hotel chains and mid-size hotel chains have the affordability and the talent But in case of independent hotels, maybe there is an area where a technology can be a better enabler, because some of the ones, maybe solutions that are inexpensive or do not have the wherewithals in terms of technology infrastructure, cause some delay in them having to push their rates. And updating and managing the booking engine. Now, this is also very important because in many cases, again, for commercial purposes or because of relationships, they end up with a different distributor for third-party channels versus a different distributor for a first-party channel. And when these two are not coming out of the same database, there are chances that the rates will not be in parity for some time till everything gets synced up. And that is every time you're sending an update. So these things do impact your ability to purchase decisions. Your ability to purchase, those decisions matter. Your ability to consolidate technology, those decisions matter to you. Next is hotels in this region are facing challenges in improving ROI from direct. We noticed this as a big influencing commentary, and this is a very positive sign in a way, because earlier what used to happen is at the time of any crisis, all the hotels would do is go and have a better deal cracked with the online travel agencies and push for more distribution there. But we are noticing some positive resilience where hotels are trying to adapt new technology and improve their investment in the loyalty programs, as well as being very particular about not just talk about online distribution and what's coming out as a productivity across the entire set of online distribution channels, but what is really coming out from direct, and even in direct, what is coming out from a loyal customer base versus not. So, just a quick benchmark on where Middle East is versus global. We noticed some stark differences also in Middle East versus, the global trends. So getting talent to help reduce cost of acquisition. This is important. A lot of investment we see going into people from other industries being invited into our industry, which is good, because obviously there was an exodus of people who left, but them being replaced by people from outside the industry, because we often hear some other industries do a better job of digital marketing and direct customer acquisition. So that is happening in our industry. Lack of talent to analyze and consolidate data. So this has been a challenge, an area of focus, and inability to understand the reasons for low conversions. So, hotels do need that analytical power, do need better technology to be able to do that heavy lifting for them. How are hotels planning their technology budget? Very interesting. If you look at Middle East versus global, Middle East has a very large share of hotels where technology budgets have reduced. This is very interesting. We also looked at where this budget is actually going. So hotels were not really optimizing, and I'll talk about this in the future slide, but not really optimizing the current usage of their technology, so they are having to re-look at their technology stack. And hotels that are optimizing and unifying their technology stack. So that's the other thing, where a lot of consolidation of technologies, less fragmentation, more vendor consolidation, more platform technology versus point solutions. Middle East hotels focusing more on results using technology. So Middle East hotels, the top priority is hire talent to deliver better results. So, and some of this budget of hiring talent is actually coming from consolidation of technology. Optimizing and improving technology stack. Hiring talent from outside the industry to bring new technology solutions. There is a lot that can happen in terms of tracking IPs, making it personalized. Currently, a lot of hotel points of sale are not personalizing to the extent that it can. If I go for a search query of 2 adults and 2 kids versus if you go for one individual, we end up seeing the same content. We end up having the same buyer journey, which is not how it is in other industries. A lot of that is getting adopted within our industry, which is very positive. And investing in technology trainings. I think there is a lot of AI is the word, and what is really encouraging to see is that hotels are trying to inculcate new AI-related training programs, not AI-powered training programs, but AI-related training programs in helping their current team optimize the usage of AI. If we compare that to global, investing in technology trainings, that's a common theme. Hiring talent from outside the industry, hiring talent to deliver better results, and optimizing and improving technology stack. So very similar, but maybe the orders are slightly different. What are hotels investing in the next 12 months? So the top 3 ones: improve direct bookings. Earlier it used to be more of online conversion. So it was heartening to see that there's this big change and hotels are finally getting conscious and more resilient about driving more direct bookings. Increased share of bookings from loyalty programs, so heavy investment in terms of loyalty. And you would have also noticed that the whole process of registering for a loyalty program has become more flexible, more frictionless. Earlier, it used to be like you would have to sit at the or stand at the desk and fill up a big form. Now it's your social login that can do the thing for you. The other thing that we have noticed, which is related around this comment, is that the liquidity of the loyalty programs have really increased. So earlier, what used to be only valid, now banks points can be exchanged with miles, miles can be exchanged with hotel programs and all of that. And that liquidity puts in a lot of power back into the hands of the consumer, and also makes the loyalty programs very appealing because it creates an ecosystem. And that was the whole idea. Perhaps when loyalty programs were introduced, they were more in silos, but they have now become a part of a larger ecosystem. And invest in AI for revenue predictability. I think a lot of us would have seen a lot of AI related tools. The expectation here is AI becomes your co-pilot. Yes, Microsoft has a product like that, but the co-piloting piece itself is that, what heavy lifting can be done by AI. And we also noticed that a lot of AI earlier was seen in light of geographies that have higher wages or higher labor cost. But now AI is being adopted in all regions, and it is less about labor cost in other regions, and it is more about efficiency and them having the time to reinvest into other things that can drive more business to the hotels. So that is an area of priority. What factors impact technology decisions? So for large chains, it's ROI. I think they're also very structured in their approach. Scalability and stability. And scalability and stability has also other things attached to it, like the whole infrastructure, data governance. I think this is a huge point around data security as well. And large hotels are becoming very, very advanced in terms of their expectations. If you have a hotel that has representation in China, China's data governance laws are different. And you got to keep that in mind. Where is China's data residing? For a guest staying outside and booking in China versus a guest who is a Chinese and booking outside, all of that data needs to be compliant. And I'm giving an example of China, but imagine this becoming a very, very complex web tomorrow, because every single country will be more evolved in terms of their data laws. And what that would mean is that your technology, whatever you choose, the platform, your loyalty programs, your CRS, anything that has personal identification number will have to be compatible with not just one, but maybe 5 countries or 10 countries, and that is a reality. So it is important that they are all cloud native, and they have the flexibility of being partitioned and seen and mapped around which data can reside where. Finally, ease of implementation. I think the industry also has seen multiple CRS implementations that have gone on for 4 or 5 years, and sometimes there is still no end date. There is no predictability. So when now a large hotel chain looks at adopting new technology, ease of implementation, making it self-serve, and a lot of heavy lifting being done from technology perspective, is a high area of priority. From a mid-sized chain perspective, scalability and stability, obviously they do not even have the infrastructure that a very large hotel, with thousands of properties would have. So they are trying to have their technology partners solve for the scalability and stability. Integrations with existing tech stack, because it's not like they go with the most evolved players. They are sort of open to more innovative technology pieces or capabilities that keep evolving. And training and support, this is a big area. And while this is quite big, we also see that new solutions that are coming up are less dependent on training and support. In terms of independent hotels, it is ease of implementation, because understandably there are smaller teams, training and support, and ROI as the chief factors. Where do hotels want to reduce efforts? So large hotel chains want to reduce efforts in monitoring rate parity. Imagine a lot of automation coming into this place. Updating new rate packages. What if you did not have to visit a hotel's extranet? Your CRS could set up a new Christmas package and distribute it, not just the rate, but the content itself, the whole policy itself, the taxes and all of that that come with a new rate plan, if imagine everything gets set up through your distribution platform, and identifying new channels for demand. For mid-size hotel chains, it's monitoring rate parity, it's optimizing paid campaigns, and identifying new channels for demand. It is interesting to see that the moment we jump into mid-size, the role consolidation piece comes out. As a result of that, there is more marketing speak coming out, whereas in case of larger hotels, it is more structured. For independent hotels, identifying new channels for demand, updates to the booking engine, and managing different rate types. So where are Middle East hotels teams in investing maximum amount of manual effort? So it's monitoring rate parity, it's identifying new channels for demand, it's creating and understanding reports, optimizing paid campaigns, managing rate types across channels, and updating new rate packages, new rate plans across all properties. Where do hotels want to reduce efforts globally? Updating images and content. So this is where a unified content platform is of huge importance and is required by them. Managing different rate types, updating to the booking engine. Mid-size hotel chains spending more effort on monitoring rate parity, on optimizing paid campaigns and creating reports. And independent hotels managing different rate types, exporting and managing data, because in this case, the first two categories, they have good visualization tools, they have data analytics teams that can look into it, but in that case, they do not have perhaps those. So they are having to invest a lot of money because the integration doesn't exist in actually manually putting in that effort and exporting and managing that data and creating those reports. Middle East hotels optimizing efforts to get insights for direct bookings, updating new rate packages, coming up with new packages, across the entire spectrum of the pricing that you operate between, having more price points and more products to sell in that spectrum, optimizing paid campaigns. Earlier it was like, how much are you investing, but now what's the ROI? What's the ROI by channel? What's the ROI by region? A lot of that, what's the ROI weekend versus weekday? What are the key levers for that ROI to increase? And creating and analyzing reports. And then globally managing rate types across channels, monitoring rate parity, and updating and managing the booking engine. So hotels in the Middle East spend up to 1 day a week in reporting. You can consume this information. It's actually, in a way, trying to tell you that there is a lot of manual effort going into consuming all that information. And the talent that was hired to analyze and take action is actually busy in digging out the data. And this was the case 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and not a lot has changed, unfortunately, there. In terms of global peers, you do see a lot of effort also going in, manual effort in terms of the amount of hours spent into digging data. So the less amount you get to analyze, the better, the less your decisions would be, the less effective your decisions would be. As a result of that, the whole focus on ROI and all that, while it is there, it's not really flowing through, because a lot of effort of talent that has been hired, it's actually frustrating for the talent. So if you have a solution where a lot of reporting capabilities are subscription-based, it comes into your inbox every Monday morning at 8 a.m. is much more preferred versus you having to do SQL queries and pull out that intelligence. It reduces for other categories, but then you do not know the level of sophistication that an independent hotel is going into to make those decisions. Now, a lot of what I've covered today, so we are at the end of the session, a lot of what I've covered today is an inside-out view of our industry. It's a lot about how hoteliers are thinking, what they are prioritizing on. But I wanted to leave you with something which is an outside-in view as well, because RateGain is one of the largest aggregators of travel data across the globe. We have what we call is travel intent data, where we know who is willing to travel and who is wanting to travel, and what is their travel score. So just like a credit rating score for an individual, we have a travel score for about 1.6 billion people globally. As a result of that, we are able to create insights in terms of who wants to go where. And when you marry this outside in view, because it has changed post-COVID and it continues to change based on different geographical and economic factors, you get a view of what the top destinations are. So we have summarized some insights on a video. But before I jump into that, I wanted to urge all of you to actually subscribe to this insightful report, which is absolutely free of cost, and will continue to send you more updates for your region. So if I can play that, and that's all from my side. Thank you.